Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Juan's World, and as I suggested on Friday, I'm going to do some videos related to my work on the street life of Phnom Penh. I gave you an introduction then, and now I'm going to actually get into it, although today's is not going to be terribly detailed, and I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to do this. It's actually kind of arduous work. So yesterday, Monday, I had a doctor's appointment at a clinic all the way across town, and I thought, okay, I will go up into the riverside area where there's lots of green spaces and parkland and document them. And the reason for that is that there just aren't that many parks in Phnom Penh, and certainly not in the center. But this particular area is full of just either grasslands where people can picnic, or cement areas. I mean, very large cement areas where people can play. They can play football or volleyball or badminton or just about anything. Very, very wide spaces. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start a little bit west of the Independence Monument on Pria Sihanouk Boulevard, which is one of the main boulevards running east-west through the commercial parts of Phnom Penh. Probably in my book more than in the videos I'm going to discuss how the streets are actually laid out, but there's basically a difference between boulevards, which are wide and long and run either north, south, or east, west, or streets, which can be just about anywhere, and they can be pretty much any size, but not main thoroughfares. The main thoroughfares, like Pria Sihanouk Boulevard or Monibong Boulevard or Russian Federation Boulevard, those are the main commuting streets. So I started around the Independence Monument and started to go east, and I found this interesting wall which I hadn't seen before, because I don't come to this area often. I used to live here. I used to live right opposite the palace, but I now live 10 kilometers away, and so I don't get to see the various changes. And they put up this wall, and it's very much like a wall that you'll find in a pagoda or in a palace. We've got scenes of the Buddha's life and scenes of life in Angkor and so forth. And so I went along there, and then the next stop is the statue of Sihanouk, the king, who was very, very important in the development of Cambodia. He was the one who negotiated the independence of Cambodia from the French, and he was king after his father died. Then he was king during the Japanese occupation. When the Japanese left, he negotiated independence from the French. Then he gave up being king. And now, wait a minute, I've got it wrong. His father was still alive. It must have been his grandfather. Anyway, he abdicated in favor of his father, and he became prime minister. And he did a lot of improvements and so forth. And so he's now considered to be like the father of the nation, and he's often called Father King, which has almost a kind of theistic quality to it. That is, he's kind of like a deity at this point. So here's his statue, and people are always taking pictures here. When any class of people graduate, they come to the statue in their gowns, and they have their photographs taken as a group and as individuals. And here at one point, there's a woman taking a picture of her dog in front of the statue. And this whole area, you can see, it's not what you would think of as picnic area or recreational area, but it is, a nice open space. And further down here we have some fountains, not going right now. You have quite a lot of fountains in and around the center of Phnom Penh, but most of the time not going, unless they're part of a private hotel or something like that, when they'll be going all the time. But the public ones don't go very often, so they're not going right now. I'll try to come back when they are. During holidays they're always going, and at night they're lit up with different colored lights. It's really joyful. So then I crossed over the street to what's called Wat Bottom Park, and it's not also really a park as such. There's no grass here, but there's lots of open space. And at the entrance where I'm going now, there is a statue to friendship between Vietnam and Cambodia, which is a little bit ironic because there isn't a lot of friendship between them now. There was at one point, because the Vietnamese eventually invaded Cambodia after the Vietnam War was over. They invaded Cambodia and they got rid of Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge. And I think that some of the friendship stems back to there. But there's a lot of tension about who owns what around the Mekong Delta, and there's always back and forth about that. And there's a lot of Vietnamese still living in Cambodia, going all the way back to before Pol Pot, at the time of the Vietnam War, when a lot of people came to Cambodia to get away from the Vietnam War. And there are pockets of them still here. So we're journeying up towards what my friends and I used to call the golden chicken. I'm not sure what this animal actually is, but we call it the golden chicken because it flies and it has a sort of a beak. And here we also have another great fountain, or series of fountains. There's some that shoot up in the air, there's some that spiral around, there's some that go in circles, and at night they are also lit up with different colored lights. It's really gorgeous. But they do that when there are festivals, such as the water festival, Bonam Tuk. I'll try to get at least one photo to put up here if I remember when I'm editing. All right, so now we cross over to the Royal Palace, and here there's a long stretch of private road that doesn't allow cars, bicycles maybe, but I was walking along here, and the palace is on the left. You have to pay to get in. It's $10, and it's not open all that often. I think it closes at 11 o'clock in the morning. I think it's open about 8 or something like that till 11, and then it closes for a couple of hours, and it's open again in the afternoon. And you can see here people just peeking in one of the open gates just to get an idea. But when I say open gates, what I mean is that the gate ironwork is open, so you can see. Not that the gate's never open. You have to go into a gate at the far left, and then you come out around the corner. But it's not very crowded right now anywhere along here. A lot of tuk-tuk drivers standing around because they're hoping to pick up passengers who want to maybe journey to I don't know, Silk Island. Sometimes they have cards that they hold up, and they've got different photographs on them that they'll point to, and they say, like, do you want to go here, do you want to go here, do you want to go here? Not a lot of tourists, though, as you can see. In fact, none. And a couple of monks in the distance. And then I turned right into this very lush grassy area where people all days of the week will come and eat their lunch, sit on the grass. And during festivals, just absolutely mobbed with people, because especially the water festival was right by the river. At night, this is a good place to watch the fireworks, but it's also just a good place to meet, and there'll be a lot of vendors here, a lot of food, or ice creams or drinks and what have you. So that there are parks here, and I mean, this one is well known for its pigeons and the kids who keep stirring them up, but they're not as much of a nuisance as you might think. And so people will come here like they would parks in any part of any city, London, Paris, what have you, except that this is pretty much the only one. The only other one that I'm going to get to later is Wat Phnom, which is the supposed like founding center of Phnom Penh, which is just a little bit north of here, and that is a huge area of flowers and grass, and it's a hill. The hill in Khmer language is Phnom. Phnom Penh means Penh's hill. Penh being Don Penh, or Lady Penh, who supposedly founded the city and built Wat Phnom. I'll get to that eventually. But it's got a huge area where you can walk around, where you can sit. They've even got benches and shops and all kinds of things. And for foreigners, it's $1 to get in. For Khmer people, it's free. So they can go up there and just have a little bit of lunch, if they work in an office or something like that. Anyway, we'll get to that. That's the end of my Green Spaces video for today. Hope that you have a good week. I'll be back on Friday with another video, and meanwhile, please tell your friends about my videos. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you on Friday.